If you like EDC Fixies, today's your lucky day. Coming at us from Kizer, I've got not one, but two EDC Fixie options, both coming in under 70 bucks. You want to see this? Stick around. What's up, Cripple Crew? EDC with DVD, Disabled but Deadly, and yes, that's right, we've got a Kizer Fixed Blade video coming at you with two different knives, both coming in via the Lefty Pass Around group, so these aren't my knives, but I have carried both of them, and I want to give you my opinion on them. So, I'm going to try to keep this brief, you know me, but we got two knives to cover, so make sure that you stab that like button like you mean it, /subscribe. I'd love to have you here. You're not going to want to miss all the dope knife and EDC content coming your way. Plus, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at EDC with DVD. Also, drop a comment below. Let me know what's in your pockets. Not only do I like to know what you guys are carrying, but it really helps that YouTube algorithm when you interact with my videos. All right, enough of that. So I have gotten into EDC Fixed Blades quite a bit more in the last couple of months. And I've had close to a dozen Fixed Blades come through in that time. And these two that I'm about to show you are definitely two of my favorites. I'm going to start off with the one I knew I was going to love and I've been wanting to check out. And that's the Kizer Smolt. This version is a Kizer.com exclusive in 3V with the black and white G10. There are other versions. Currently, the only other one I could find available was the gray G10 with black Micarta, which also looks good and is 3V. But I do know they made like 154 cm or D2. However, for this fixed blade style, I would absolutely recommend the 3V. 3V is a steel that is going to get you some very, very good edge retention. It is not the stainless steel, but that's where this coating comes in. That's going to help maintain that corrosion resistance, and so that you can take advantage of the edge retention properties of 3V. So, we have an overall length of 6.1 inches or 155 millimeters. A fantastic EDC size. Rocking a 3.15 inch, what I would call a bit of a big belly drop point. They call it a clip point blade that is a blade stock thickness of 143 thousandths or 3.5 millimeters. The handle length is 2.96 inches or 75.1 millimeters. And this says material. Oh, I'm giving you the wrong measurements. That's why it sounded wrong. I apologize. I was giving measurements for the upcoming knife. This knife is 6.5 inches overall length, or 165 millimeters. They do call it a drop point. Okay, that makes more sense. It's 2.93 inches, or 74.3 millimeters, with a blade stock thickness of 126 thousandths, or 3.2 millimeters. Handle length is 3.57 inches. See, the other one sounded way too short. 90.7 millimeters. And we've got a weight coming in at 2.98 ounces or 84.6 grams. The hardness on this 3V is 60 to 61, which is perfect to get you both edge retention and the best toughness you're going to get out of this for a fixed blade. This is made with pretty neutral ergos. This is Jonathan Styles' design, as you can see right there with his maker mark. And you've got a very straightforward handle. You do have contoured G10, which definitely makes it more comfortable in the hand because it's a thinner knife. And you do have some jimping right here for the saber grip and it's not the grippiest because of the blade coating. So I do slide on that jimping. However, I'm very comfortable out here on the blade if I'm pushing through something or if I want that extra control. It's a great size for the pinch grip, and my finger goes right behind that little guard. So it is a pretty big belly for cutting stuff down on a flat surface, very useful, but I still can get that tip down in a pinch grip to use it for utility style cuts. But because of the neutral handle and the lack of a pocket clip, it's very comfortable to turn around if I was to cut some straps. You do have a short flat before that belly though, so you could slide out of cuts a little sooner. In the Beef Jerky Avenger grip, I am capped off. I'm behind that little tab, and I feel not as confident of not slipping on beef jerky juice in the Beef Jerky Defender or Avenger here in the Defender grip. It's also pretty comfortable. I do feel a little more locked in right here, like I wouldn't slide on some beef jerky juice. A fixed blade is typically, the best option for beef jerky defense because you don't have any lock that's going to fail. It's also, for your EDC tasks, it's going to be stronger than any lock system on the market because there's no failure point for that. Instead, you'd have to snap the steel. This does have, I'm sure, some skeletonization under these G10 liners, and they are rocking T8 construction. So you can take these scales off and clean under the blade, which you would want to do if you use this, say, to process some game, if you were, because this does have a decent belly and a good control for skinning. If you use this to process anything, being 3V, even with the coating, I would want to take those scales off and clean the whole blade. And so it's very nice that it's Torx construction, just take it apart. You have a spot for a lanyard, which on smaller fixed blades I like because that lanyard coming out just gives you a little bit of extra control, but it also makes them a little easier to draw from the sheath. The sheath on this is the one spot where I think they fell a little short. This is a pancake style sheath, so it's 2 pieces of Kydex molded together. And I believe a taco style sheath, which you're going to see next, would have been a little better for this because it would have cut these rivets off and would have only had these here. And then you would still have plenty of lashing points for different styles of clips, but it would take up far less room in a pocket. It comes with a very nice Tech Lock style, just adjustable for all different types of belt widths, clip that can be worn so that the knife is vertical, or you could turn this and carry the knife horizontally, which if I was going to carry this, when I did carry this, I actually had it on my belt loop of my 511 pants because they have a very wide front belt loop, and I had it so that this blade was right in front of my belt, and or the handle was right in front of my belt. It makes it very easy to draw. This is a nice EDC fixed blade, and that 3V steel is just perfect for this. My homeboy Tactical Llama, y'all see him on my lives often. I recommend checking out his 3V Smolt edge retention test. He put his own edge on it, and then he did an edge retention test, and that knife is still scary sharp. So if I remember, I will link his video below, but I highly recommend checking out his edge retention test on the Smolt. Now, so I'm going to give you a couple of quick size comparisons with some of my other EDC Fixies. Let's go with one of the biggest ones that I like to carry, and that is the Tac Knives, the Marlin. This is about as large as I like for EDC size, and as you can see, the Smolt comes in plenty smaller. Now, let's look at the Kubi Dust Devil, another great EDC Fixie size that is just slightly longer than the Smolt. The Smolt. Also, how about the North Mountain Blade Raccoon. One of my favorite EDC Fixies is almost the exact same size. This came with a leather sheath, but one of the channel followers, one of the homies, Chris Wotan, purchased one and made himself a Kydex sheath and really liked it, so he made one for me and sent it in. I just received this yesterday, and Chris, this thing is awesome. I dig it. I love it. Great push off. You did an awesome job with this, and that's my fault. I went in low. I greatly appreciate this. The retention on it's fantastic, and it looks sick. Now I can carry this horizontally in front of my belt instead of vertical in the leather drop sheath like they had, which is my least favorite way to carry. Really, really makes this knife perfect. Anyway, back to the Smolt. One more EDC size fixie to compare it to, and this is one that I've been dropping in my right front pocket lately, and this is the Corvette S. Also, almost the exact same size. The Corvette S did a taco sheath and a pocket clip, so this rides in my right front pocket quite often. Now, let's get to knife number 2 and the one that really surprised me. I thought it looks cool, but I thought it looked a little small for my taste. Even though an EDC size fixie, I'm good with being smaller than, say, my folders. The folders, the handle has to be larger to accommodate the blade, the tang, and you don't lose anything, I should say. But to get the same amount of blade length, you've got to have a longer knife. You can do the same thing with a fixed blade, but the nice thing is, because you don't have to put the blade away, you can make a shorter handle. And this is just perfect size. I like an EDC size fixie that just fits my hand. A 4-finger grip, and I think this is a great size. The next one I thought was a little small, but once I got the Kizer Muskrat in hand, a Sharon design, I absolutely fell in love with this knife. What we have here is the 6.1 inch overall length, or 155 millimeters, with a 3.15 inch clip point blade and a blade stock thickness of 140 thousandths. We have a handle length coming in at only 2.96 inches, or 75.1 millimeters, which is where I thought I was going to hate the knife, and a weight of 2.2 ounces, or 62.5 grams. This short handle, and this one has the Argyle Micarta. This is the 154 cm version. They also have coated D2 with G10. There's a few versions available of this, but the Argyle Natural Micarta and 154 cm is my favorite version. And this handle, you guys know, like I said, I have an extra large size gloved hand. This handle, the way that this choil is made, this guard is made, fits my hand just perfect. This micarta is placed and is, it swells in just perfect spot to get a great grip. If this was mine, I'd put a small lanyard on it, but even without it, I feel like I have full control of this small knife. Hammer grip, very, very comfortable. Saber grip, very comfortable, and that jimping works. I feel so locked in on this knife. I would have zero issues thrusting in a beef jerky defense scenario, even with this small of a knife, because I have such control and I know I'm not going to slide up on that blade. Pinch grip in this is amazing. Just amazing. It's perfect. That clip goes along with your finger. Everything is made just right to use that whole knife. You do have enough of a belly that you could use this as a skinner. And, the ergos on this even still work for turning it around this way. Now, Beef Jerky Avenger, because of this grip, or this spot right here before the blade, the guard there, I can cap off, and I know I'm not going to slide up on that blade, no matter the beef jerky juice. And I feel like I have great control over this knife. Now, rip it around in the beef jerky defender. I can cap off, and I still am behind that guard, but it does feel a little safer in the Avenger, beef jerky Avenger grip than the defender. However, you could use this knife all day long, right here or right here, and not get tired. I love the way this knife feels in hand. It's very nimble, but it's so well thought out. For a piece of 154 cm steel and 2 pieces of micarta, it is very, very well thought out and designed. I just absolutely have fallen in love with this little knife, and I definitely need to get one of my own. Whoop, that's me slipping out. But this is a plenty sharp blade, and I have really enjoyed carrying this. The sheath on this is perfect. They gave us a very small taco style sheath. So taco means it's a fold over singular piece of Kydex bolted on one side. And I still have multiple lashing points. They come with a pretty decent belt loop or belt clip on it. This, once you get this on your belt, it holds very, very well. Hold on, Wiggles. You can wait. You gotta wait. But this would make a great pocket dropper because it takes up no size. If you had, I would put a small ulti clip on this and carry it in my right front pocket with an ulti clip. I think they did a fantastic job with this sheath. You have a great push-off spot. You have awesome retention. And I want to compare to the task sheath. The Smolt sheath. So if I line the bottom of them up, push it back here, I want you to see the difference in that. How much more real estate the pancake style sheath takes up than the taco style. And I think if they would have done this with the Smolt, they would have hit every note just right. As it is, I do prefer the Muskrat a little bit. Both have sharpening choils that are decent. They're good sharpening choils. Plunge grinds are done well. On the Muskrat, you're going to hit the plunge a little sooner. But the nice thing is with both of them being fixed blades and no worries about stop pin placement, you can cut your own sharpening choils in and keep going. And with the Stonewash finish versus the coated finish, it's going to look a little bit better when you do cut your own in eventually, because you're not going to notice it, because you're not going to be getting rid of the coating. Overall, both of these are great EDC options. You're coming in at $69 here or $59 here, and I would have no issues recommending either one. I will be linking White Mountain Knives version of this as well below, because they have a 3V version with the gray and the black micarta, but you can use code DBD to save 10% at White Mountain Knives. They are currently out of stock of the Muskrat, but I'll still link it as well. I'll link Kizer, but I'll also link White Mountain Knives in case it comes back in stock there, because you can use code DBD, save 10%. If I was to pick one, it's the Muskrat, because of the grip, the comfort, all day long. But the nice thing is, you can have more than one knife. I want both of these. And you can get both of them for right about, $120 after codes. So, all in all, I think Kizer did a very good job on both of these. And they've got quite a few EDC Fixies that have come out lately, and I want to check them all out. But this Muskrat is on another level. The comfort of this, if I had this, it'd probably be my most carried EDC Fixie. The sheath is perfect. The knife is perfect. I think they've got a couple of grand slams here. D. Sharon, you killed it. Jonathan Styles, insane design. I appreciate the Pass Around group for letting me be able to show you guys knives that I don't have. But I want to know your thoughts on these two knives. What do you think about them, and do you own either? No matter what, have a killer day. Stay safe, stay frosty, most importantly, stay deadly.